Welcome to a Legendarium special about the Antikythera Mechanism, how ancient Greeks tracked the cosmos. In the year 1900, a terrible storm blew a ship filled with sponge divers off course to the beautiful island of Antikythera. While a lovely island, it has jagged rocks and sheer cliffs that plunge straight into the sea, and they make life exciting and sometimes short for sailors. Nonetheless, once the storm cleared, the sponge divers chose to look around. The first diver came back up terrified, claiming that he saw a pile of rotting corpses on the seabed, including men, women, and horses. In fact, it turned out that the diver happened across a shipwreck filled with ancient treasures, including the remains of statues that he mistook for corpses. The sponge divers returned in the employment of the Greek government and directed by archaeologists. They spent 10 months hauling up marble and bronze statues, gold and jewelry, pieces of furniture including a throne, weapons, glass bowls, and amphorae that would have been filled with wine and olive oil when the ship first set sail. Sadly, one of the divers died during the expedition, and 2 more suffered grievous injuries from decompression sickness. Archaeologists determined that the ship set sail around the year 60 BC. The trading vessel, packed with luxury goods, left modern-day Turkey, then the site of Greek colonies, and sailed for the Greek homeland. Much like the sponge diver's ship 2,000 years later, it took refuge at Antikythera Island from a storm, but sank on rocks hidden beneath the surface. And hidden among flashier finds like marble statues and jewelry, scholars found a strange device encased in a corroded clump of metal. More than 2 years passed before the clump broke apart to reveal a complex system of gears. After studying it, scholars dubbed the mysterious device the Antikythera Mechanism. Famed underwater researcher Jacques Cousteau and physicist Richard Feynman both became fascinated by the device. Yet more than 75 years passed before new technology like X-rays and CT scans gave scholars the chance to successfully study the 82 surviving fragments of the mantle clock-sized object. Most likely, 2/3 the original device has since been lost. They dated the device's creation to sometime between the years 260 BC, likely around the time of Rome's conquest of Greece. Its sophistication so surprised archaeologists that some wondered if a modern object dropped at the wreck site long afterwards, but this has since been disproven. Needless to say, some have claimed that extraterrestrials created the device, and this needs no disproving. More than 1,000 years before Europeans invented the first mechanical clocks, the Antikythera Mechanism used similar technology, including gear wheels, dials, and pointers. The largest gear has 223 teeth and measures 5 inches in diameter. Most likely, the builders designed it not for use in Greek astronomy, but as a means for scholars to teach students about the universe as the ancient Greeks understood it. Contrary to what a recently released blockbuster might say, they did not use it to travel through time. Instead, it is a model of the cosmos as the ancient Greeks understood it. A user turned a handle on the side to move the gear wheels and wind forward and backward in time as they chose. As the cogs turned, they moved parts of the device to highlight different symbols and texts, noting different astronomical features. The movement drove mathematical pointers showing the user positions of celestial bodies, the date, and the timing of athletic games like the Olympics. Its 30 bronze meshing gears allowed it to mimic the moon's erratic orbit. It includes a calendar, an eclipse prediction dial, and inscriptions giving information about what the stars are doing at any given time. At least 30 bronze gear wheels survive, but it almost certainly had many more originally. Best of all, a bronze panel at the back likely acted as an instruction manual. Its builders kept it inside a wooden box 13 by 7 inches in size, but this mostly rotted away during those many years under the sea. One could compare it to an ancient analog computer used to solve the mysteries of the universe and make sense of a world often beyond men's control. Yet much about the Antikythera mechanism remains unknown. We do not know who created it or the meaning of inscriptions engraved upon it. The Roman author Cicero wrote about a philosopher named Posidonius of Rhodes who made globes that turned to show the motions of the stars. He also wrote about Archimedes making similar devices more than a century before, but this would have likely been a simpler model refined by the likes of Posidonius. Most likely, Posidonius's workshop made the mechanism for a wealthy buyer in the Greek homeland, and it loaded onto the ship before it wrecked, only for us to discover it 2,000 years later and realize just how sophisticated the ancients truly were, and they didn't need any help from aliens. That wraps things up for this episode of The Legendarium. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, press like. If you want to see more, press subscribe, and if you've got anything to say, let me know in the comments section. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope that you have a great rest of the day.